Hello everyone, my name is Kirby G with Kirby G's Points and Miles, and I want to talk about my credit card roadmap for 2026. Now, I don't really actually like the term roadmap, as I think that sounds a little too static. And in the credit card game, I think it is extremely important that we are all very agile when it comes to what credit cards we select. Every year, banks and credit card issuers do weird and stupid things that change some of our favorite cards. I think about the US Bank Altitude Reserve used to be probably one of the most popular cards in this credit card community, and now that card got nerfed so hard into the ground, I don't know who holds it anymore. So I think sometimes it can be quite foolish to plan things the entire year out of it, exactly what credit card you're going to get. You never know what kind of welcome bonuses might come up out of the blue. Maybe a card you are really looking to get just never gets an increased welcome offer, when another card you were thinking about getting has a new welcome offer that offers 100,000 points, and that card just might be better as a smash and grab option versus a card you were thinking about having more long term. These are things that you have to assess for yourself and figure out what kind of credit card setup and what kind of points you need for a specific redemption. It is still important to remember that planning the things well far out in advance can be great. In a world that is always ever changing, you need to make sure that you have some good backup plans and option as well. So let's take a look at my 2026 credit card roadmap. So I think it is always important to start off what my goals are for credit cards and 2026. The number one thing that I want to do in 2026 is make sure that I'm acquiring all of the points that I need for my trip to Japan. Now, I know that I will probably need a couple more Hyatt points. We'll see there, but the number one thing I need is Hilton points. There are some Hilton properties that I am targeting in Japan that I really want to go to, and I just do not have the Hilton points right now. So I want to make sure that I can do everything in my power to get as many Hilton points as possible. Another thing I want to do is spend my IHG and American Airlines miles, mostly because I acquired my IHG business card for one specific reason, and when those plans changed, I didn't have a specific use case for those points, and I do not want over 200,000 IHG points just sitting in my account. I need to put those points to use. Also, I acquired 2 American Airlines credit card bonuses this year in anticipation of some changes with Citibank and Barclays, with Barclays selling off all of their Citi cards, or all of their American Airlines cards to Citi. And I wanted to make sure I could get some welcome offers while I could. Now that I have all those points, I need to make sure that I'm actually using them. So that'll be a combination of both domestic flights, mostly between John Wayne Airport in Southern California and Chicago O'Hare, visiting family, as well as maybe one business class flight as well. I need to make sure that I am using the points I'm acquiring, or else there is no point in acquiring those points. I also want to make sure that I'm always acquiring more built points. They are my most used currency, and I'm currently bankrupt. I just got some points from Rakuten, so I have a couple thousand points now, but for a while there I had 954 built points, so definitely need to work on that currency. I think that will be my dining card while I'm not working on a welcome bonus, just so I'm always acquiring those points. I also want to focus on business cards in 2026. I do not mind putting my personal spend on business cards for a sign-up bonus, and while I know there are risks there, and while you do lose purchase protections while using business cards, if I were to purchase anything like a TV or a new gaming monitor or something like that, I would put that, of course, on probably my Chase Sapphire Preferred or my Delta Reserve card, whichever card has the highest purchase protection. That is something I should probably be looking into. The reason why I'm focusing so much on business cards is that I do want to monitor my 524 status. Right now, I believe I'm at 724, and when this whole built change happens in February, they will be issuing everyone a new built credit card, and I am scared that that will add to my 524 status. When the announcement first came out, it did seem like everyone assumed that, then some people maybe pushed back, but it probably is going that way, and I guess we won't find out until February. I'm hoping that some of these built cards are good. I'm actually hoping that the built premium card is really good so that I can use built as my main travel card. Even if it's $494, if it's got some good credits and it's got some good lounge access, I could see myself as that be my only high annual fee card moving forward. I don't think that's going to happen, but a boy can dream. So the first card that I want to acquire in 2026 will be very early in January. That card will be the Hilton Business Card. Right now it has an offer to earn 175,000 Hilton Honors Points by making $8,000 in purchases in the first 6 months. And as you see here, that offer expires on January 14th. The reason why I want this Hilton card is, again, I have 6,000 Hilton points right now. And there are a couple properties I'm looking at that offer around 100,000 points a night. This welcome bonus will give me a total of 200,000 points, as well as I have a Hilton Grand Vacations timeshare presentation I'll be going to in early January as well. Hasn't been booked yet, but I'm hoping that's when I can do it. That'll also give me an additional 100,000 Hilton points. I am hoping that that combination of 300,000 Hilton points, as well as the $8,000 in spend that I put on that card, can give me 3 to 4 nights at some small luxury hotels in Japan. This card will also give me Hilton Gold status, which I think is very important to have when traveling abroad. It is kind of a sweet spot in my opinion, and while I do not need Hilton Diamond status, there are maybe some opportunities for some nice upgrades and at least some free breakfast, which is always important when you're traveling, because as someone who normally doesn't eat a ton of breakfast in their real life, I always want to make sure that when I'm traveling, I eat a very large breakfast. I normally skip lunch and then I have a big dinner and then maybe a snack or two in the middle. And I think that's kind of my preferred way to travel, so that I'm not really spending a ton of money on food, because that is always a category in travel that kind of creeps up on you when you're on vacation. I might eat at a restaurant that's a little bit nicer than some restaurants I have around my hometown. So I just want to make sure that I have free breakfast so that I can save a little bit of extra cash when traveling. And I think that's why I kind of am targeting some type of gold-ish status at every hotel chain, especially if I can get it for no annual fee. Normally that gives you the lowest level status, but kind of acquire that status that gives me free breakfast everywhere I go. I can see myself staying at, 30% of my hotels being Hyatts, 30% of my hotels being Hiltons, and 30% of my hotels being IHG, with 10% just being random hotels. Since I'm not a true loyalist, especially in 2026, I want to kind of acquire all of the hotel cards. I already have my IHG card, and I really want a Hilton card. The Hyatt card is not the best hotel credit card out there, and I am over 524, but that is why I kind of want to focus on business cards for the year of 2026, mostly in preparation of maybe getting a Hyatt card in late 2027. That is really the only Chase card that I need right now. I already have a Chase Sapphire Preferred, Chase Freedom Unlimited, and that can be my spend setup if needed. And if I do ever want to upgrade to the Chase Sapphire Reserved, there have been some data points on Reddit from Chase themselves saying that they may be welcoming upgrade offers in the near future. So this is why I think that this would be a great card for me, because this does give me 6 months to get that welcome bonus done, and I can just put everything on the Hilton Honors business card and get 5x on everything. While Hilton points are not normally worth 1 cent per point, some of the small luxury hotels that I am looking at in Japan are roughly 0.8 to 1.1 cent per point, depending on the night that I would select. And while I have not booked any of those properties yet, because I don't have the Hilton points, I do kind of need to get those points kind of soon. So this is why this will be the first card that I will most likely apply for in 2026. And I just also wanted to mention some other things with this Hilton Honors business card. It does give you gold status specifically for Japan. This is why I'd want it. It does have $60 in quarterly credits. So while I don't pay with a ton of hotels in cash, my parents do tend to stay at Hilton's a lot. So if they didn't mind, I could say, hey, I can save you $60 on this purchase. And while this might not save me $60 every quarter, it'll definitely save either me or my parents $60 every quarter, which I think as a son, I can kind of pay them back a little bit for, raising me and all that. While Hyatt has given me better deals lately, I just prefer Hilton and IHG properties. I've had nothing but pleasant experiences at both of those hotels, and while I've had nothing go wrong at that Hyatt, that's just what I prefer so far. Maybe that will change. And I don't think I mentioned, but this card does have a $195 annual fee. So while I'm not sure this card would be a keeper, it would depend on how often I could use that quarterly credit. This year, my travel was kind of a little weird because I did a lot of it for work, and then I kind of did some trips close together. So I don't think I would have hit every quarter, but even if I hit 3 quarters out of the 4, I think this card is a pretty solid one, and it would kind of be a year-by-year case basis of whether or not I would keep this card. And then the last thing I wanted to mention about the Hilton Honors business card is that I was kind of waiting to see if Hilton would have an increased welcome offer that involved free night certificates. The only way I could see myself applying for a personal card in 2026, at least right now, is if they dropped the Hilton Honors cards with free night certificates. I would definitely pick one of those up. Now, I could also see if there was a similar welcome offer to the 100,000 point UR offer that the Chase Sapphire Preferred had in 2025. If there was some type of similar offer from another issuer in 2026, I could see myself hopping on a once in a year offer like that. But other than a Hilton Honors personal card or maybe a super high MX Gold card offer, right now I just don't see myself applying for any personal cards in 2026. The other business card that I currently have my eye on is the Delta Business Gold card. I will definitely wait for an increased welcome offer for this card. I will not apply for this card at 60,000 Sky Miles. And since you can't time these things, if it doesn't work out timing wise, I might not get this card. But if I see 90,000, 100,000 Delta Sky Miles, I will definitely pick up the business card just as a smash and grab for 1 year, since it does have a waived annual fee for the first year. I do need more Delta Sky Miles for some domestic travel. While I love John Wayne Airport for its just simplicity for me to get to, it does have some of the most expensive costs per flight in America. Now, there are some sweet spots, like flying to Vegas is pretty cheap, but specifically the flights I want to fly on are quite expensive cash-wise, and since Delta does have kind of a dynamic pricing system, I'm not going to get great deals when it comes to those miles, but I also don't want to pay cash. I've said in previous videos that I do not really care about my cent per point value with Sky Miles. I just know that I'll probably be flying to Minneapolis 3 times a year, and I do not want to pay cash for that. So that is what Sky Miles are for, and the Delta Business Gold card would just be a nice little fit for me. So what about after that? I did add some photos of gardening here. I do really want to garden my credit profile, as while my credit score is pretty solid at TransUnion and Equifax, my Experian credit report is a little bit on the low side. And while I do not have any plans of buying a car or a house in the next year and a half, I do see myself buying a house 3 years from now, maybe. I have a love-hate relationship with the idea of owning a house, but I do want to make sure that I set myself up financially for the future, and having a house is a good way in doing that. And so in preparation of, even though I'm doing this many years out, I do want to make sure that as my credit profile ages, I'm not going as crazy as I did in 2025. Some people might say that, oh, Kirby, it really doesn't matter that much. It's fine. I'd rather be safe than sorry. I have the points I need for all of my travel for the rest of the year, and a decent amount of my travel in 2026. I don't have all of the points I need, as that's why I need a Delta Business Gold card and a Hilton Honors Business card, but I do not have a need for points like I did at the beginning of 2025 when I didn't have almost any points. I do want to continue to travel at the same rate as I did in 2025, so I want to make sure that I have those points, but I'm also not leaving almost any points in the reserves. There are some people that don't mind having 200,000 points just laying around. For me, that's not going to work. I have 220,000 IHG points that I don't have a plan for anymore, so I want to find a way to spend that. There might be an opportunity to do like an IHG all-inclusive in the Caribbean next year, but when I look at when I will be traveling, I have an opportunity to travel earlier in the year and at the end of the year. I know I already have a trip in March, I have a trip in July, I have a trip in September. So I also want to keep in mind that I only have so many vacation days every year. And while I am lucky enough to have every other Friday off, so that does kind of help when it comes for planning vacation, not every trip I want to take falls on the exact weekend that I have Friday off. So it is a battle there. So on this slide, I probably estimate that I have about 65% of the points that I need to travel in 2026, which I think is a good thing. And I do kind of want to get points for 2027 as well. But right now, I feel like I'm at a good spot points-wise. And while I'm currently finishing up a couple welcome offers right now, those will be done by the beginning of the year, most likely. So it'll be a perfect time to apply for the Hilton Honors Business Card and put just about every single purchase on that for 6 months. So that's pretty nice. Something I also want to manage is annual fees. I have the Delta Reserve card at a whopping $650 every year, and while I am leaning towards renewing that card, I might not, depending on what the built card offers me. I might go down to the Delta Platinum card just because some of those credits I can't use. Maybe the Delta Gold card might go all the way down to there, but again, we'll see what this built card looks like and how I'm feeling in May or end of May, beginning of June when my Delta Reserve card renews. We'll see how often I'll actually need to have Delta Sky Club access, because right now, some of the traveling I will be doing, I'm not sure I'll need it, but we'll find out. Then finally, I might want more Chase cards in the future. If you told me I can never get another Chase card again, I would be very content. I have the cards I want, but if a Hyatt Premium card does come out, that might change my strategy, because while I really enjoy Hyatt properties and I can get really great deals on some pretty expensive properties. Since I don't have any status, I'm not going to have access to some of the free luxury breakfasts, but if I can at least get status that gives me free breakfast or opportunities for room upgrades, I can see myself just fully going into the Hyatt ecosystem. So what does everyone think of my 2026 credit card roadmap? I know it only has 2 cards on it, but those are the only 2 cards that I think I need in 2026 to ensure that I can get almost all of my travel paid for on points, at least when it comes to hotels and flights. I would love to hear what kind of things you have planned for 2026. What cards are you eyeing, and what increased welcome bonuses are you hoping come around again? Please leave those thoughts in the comments down below. Again, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like, comment, subscribe. I just hit around 225 subscribers, and I would love to hit 500 by the end of the year. So if you enjoy what I'm doing here, feel free to hit that red subscribe button. And if you really want to support the channel, feel free to look at my referral links in the bottom below. If you do decide to use them, feel free to reach out to me in the comments below or in the Anthony Venture Discord. I'd love to thank you personally. And most importantly, have a great rest of your day.